Let us open up Fatiha, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Once again, everyone, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All right, so we're going to continue with our review of the way to patience and guidance by Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya. We got, I'll leave it back there drinking coffee, so I'm going to take coffee break. Read for, we'll use you and Danielle, inshallah. Y'all have a good, clear reading voice. It's not as big as it normally is. It's small.
You see that person? It's a care problem.
That's right. Okay. So I believe we were going to start this week in chapter 3, inshallah. Connotative meanings of patience.
Chapter 3?
Yes.
Patience takes on the name of what it refers to. It is called chastity. If it is associated with retaining a sexual desire, if it refers to controlling one's stomach, it is called self-restraint. When referring to refraining from disclosing what is better to keep secret, it is called keeping one's secrets. If it consists of being content with a sufficient for one's needs, it is called asceticism. But if it consists of being content of what someone has a worldly life, it is called self-content. If it refers to controlling one's nerves when angry, it is called forbearance. When it refers to desisting from haste, it is called gracefulness. If it refers to not fleeing or running away, it is called courage. If it refers to refraining from taking revenge, it is called forgiveness. If it refers to not being stingy, it is called generosity. When it refers to abstaining from food and drink for a specific period, it is called fasting. If it consists of refraining from being helpless and lazy, it is called discretion. If it refers to refraining from loading other people with burdens and not leaving their burdens aside, it is called chivalry. In conclusion, patience has various names according to the situation it applies to, but all of them are included under patience. This indicates that all tenets and rights of Islam are associated with patience.
Everybody straight with that? We understand that? Yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. It all goes back to the original meaning on the definition of patience. It says the Arabic word sabr means restriction and detention in Islam. So all of these things that the author mentioned are things that we are actually, in a sense, forbidding ourselves out of patience. You know, it turns into patience that you don't chase after the girls or the boys, or that you, you know, you don't overeat, you know, even though the words that are used, we say fasting, but actually fasting is a detention that you are putting on yourself, you know. I thought that was really interesting. All right, chapter 4.
Patience and acquired patience. If a man is able by his nature to refrain from ill conduct, he is called patient by nature. However, if he suffers a lot and trains himself until he acquires it, he is called patient by acquisition. The prophet said, "Whoever trains himself to be patient, God will help him." Likewise, a person can train himself to acquire any other good characteristic. So training develop good character. This means that whoever continues doing something habitually, these habits will lead to his habits to his nature. Man is able to learn and acquire traits. The traits or the characteristics he acquires may be equal or superficial in his personality, owing to the extent of his acquisition. The longer he acquires a trait, the more adherent he will be to it. But if such a trait is not included, he may soon forget it.
This is another chapter that is really interesting because it's telling you the power that you have over you. Allah, as Mashallah has told us to pray 5 times a day. Right? And we get up for Fajr, we make that first prayer. We make Dua, we make Asr, we make Maghrib, we make Isha throughout the day. And we do that consistently. And when you do that consistently, it becomes a part of you. So that if you miss any of them, you're out of sorts. You notice that? Why is that? Because the Salah has become a part of your nature. And so what this chapter is showing us is that we have the control of our nature. We can actually train our nature to do whatever it is that we want to do. So all that stuff was devil made me do it, this and that. It doesn't carry any weight. It's not real. But the reality is that Allah has given us control over this. And the way you really get the control is the discipline of doing things regularly. Okay. It becomes a part of it. I thought that was very interesting. Whatever you make as a habit, it'll turn into your nature. I look at some of the bad stuff that I picked up as a youth. The first time you smoke a cigarette, you cough your brains out. And your body rejects it. And then what happens is, I guess, with the environment that you're in, you determine to keep the smoke down. And in time, your body stops complaining to you. And you smoke cigarette after cigarette, you know what I mean? And so that you have actually reshaped your nature to accept a cancerous drug that puts thousands, you find out later, thousands of toxins into your body to kill you. Now, how you get rid of it? Same way you got it. You gotta practice. You gotta practice not smoking. I see a lot of people when I was overseas, when I was in Masjidun-nur, that it actually it took me by surprise because when we were in the nation, how many of you were in the nation? Okay, half and half. Okay. All right. We were taught not to smoke. And most of us, we didn't smoke. And then when we went to hide and we saw those ashtrays outside of the haram, we couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe that these Muslims, they call themselves Muslims, that they smoke, you know? Yeah, so we learned early on that the habits we form become a part of the nature, the actual nature. So, all right, back to time chapter 5.
Patience is of two types, physical and psychological. We have four types of patience. Physical patience, such as hard labor, willingness. Obligatory physical patience, such as enduring the pain of food or cold or hot weather. Optional psychological patience, such as sacred knowledge or reason. 4. Obligatory psychological patience, such as enduring the of one's loved ones who are beyond his reach. The obligatory type can be applied to human beings and whereas the optional type apply only to people. However, some people may only maintain people for obligatory things like and forsake optional things. After that said, God has created angels having three arms that maintain patience for obligatory things, like animals and take optional things. After that said, Allah has created angels having no desire. Animals have desires and no reason. And man has both reason and desire. Therefore, if one's reason is stronger than his desires, it's like an angel. Or, on the other hand, if he desires and his desires are stronger, he is like an angel. While a human being eats nothing but food, the patience towards to is like the older he grows, the stronger his faith is. Just as his sexual desires go, his power of reasoning also right? To realize what patience by choice really is. But pure patience is not enough to make free maximize desire. By the virtue of Allah's guidance, we realize the goal of life. This life and it's also aware of the good. As a warrior, he fights against the enemy. Put and protects himself. He should do the same. The worldly desires.
So we in battle, right? Chapter 6.
There are three reasons knowledge is the best way to define. This can be attained by knowledge is such that the person is and they are the ones described by Allah as those who say, our Lord is Allah. They are also the ones who equal for the rest at the moment of their death by saying, fear not, but receive the black tidings of the pardon of this, that is you from God. We are this type of enemy. They are the ones who win. They envelop, strive, and therefore deserve a lot of time. One's desires fulfill the religious necessity. Such an man goes forth, and it's whatever they want. Under the
followers as the face of a weakling, or the devil himself may come as a tool, as in the case of destiny and from God. There are those people who have overtaken them. They prefer this world because they lost patience. They are characterized by deception, falsehood, wishful thinking, hope of long life, purpose of worldly life. Prophets describe such people by saying, who follows his desires and indulges in such people are different from them. Some of them have word is a lie and method. Christ allows the teachings of the prophets so well that it's some permit people to follow God's guidance and spread distortion. Some indulge only in worldly desires. You might find something accordingly to what there may also be some people who provide to satisfaction of their desires. Some people may assume that they're ultimate good, but they assume that it is difficult to do. Early, they have the opportunity. Some claim that Allah, the Almighty, does not need what they do of prayers or fasting. Good deeds are not enough for salvation. Allah is merciful and all. Others may also say, what good does my mercy do after all the evil actions I have committed? What tiny man are above water, and the rest of his body is submerged? Some others may say, various excuses are heard on such deluded people, main concern has become the word of life. All they think of is the satisfaction of their lust and desires. Such men have become a state, which the reason is being blind and carrying. Number 3, there is an ongoing war between religion and one's desires. Sometimes the latter prevails, and at other times the former gains the upper hand. This is the case with many believers. Each category of the 3 or 4 acquittal of what they have done in this world. Some will enter paradise, and others will never enter it. And some will enter hellfire for some time, but they are admitted to paradise. Some people can hardly remain patient, while others maintain intimacy. First type is like 2 men wrestling each other, without exerting great effort. The second type is like a man who wrestles over the people. Such is the ongoing war between the servant of Allah, the merciful, and that of Satan. Whoever can be safe and sober and himself, but the night is the will of Allah. Abdullah ibn said, once there was a wrestling between him and one of the men, in which the former said, why are you so weak and small? I am one of the strong. Someone asked, was that man born? Who else could do so? Some prophet said, a believer witnesses Satan the way someone witnesses family. Even narrated from some of the early Muslims that 2 devils met each other one day. One of them asked the other, why do you seem pale? The other replied, I have enjoined to befriend a man who mentions the name of Allah whenever he eats, so I cannot share his food. He also mentions Allah's name when he drinks, so I cannot drink with him. When he enters his home, he mentions the name of Allah, so I remain outside. On the other hand, the other devil said, on the contrary, I have befriended a man who does not mention the name of Allah when he eats, when eating, drinking, enter his home, or having intercourse with his wife. So I share with him all in all he does. Therefore, whoever is accustomed to patience, his enemy fears him. But whoever finds it difficult to apply, his enemy will readily dare to attack him and do him harm.
Now, that's something that, that hadith, a lot of us, we take that lightly. But when we enter our homes, listening to that. When we eat, listening to that. We drink, listening to that. You'd be surprised at that, but listening to that, what it wards off, and we should try to practice it. There's so many little things in Islam that they're so easy to practice. We just dismiss them. And these things are very important, and they carry a lot of weight, and well, just the remembrance of Allah is really, really important to the believer, and never take any of it lightly, especially this Bismillah. Okay, Sister Tanya.
Patience is of three types. 1, worshiping Allah and following His commands. 2, refraining from bad deeds. And 3, surrendering to Allah's decrees and destiny. All of these fields refer to what Allah wants His servants to do concerning His ruling. There are 2 kinds of divine rulings, religious and predetermined. What He ordains of religious and predetermined, what He ordains of religious rulings has 2 types according to the field it applies to. If the field it applies to is desirable to the human nature, the status of what is required to be done is either obligatory or recommended. Only by remaining patient can we conform to such rulings. But if the field is undesirable, then the status of what is required is either unlawful or offensive. We also cannot do so but by patience. Concerning predetermined rulings, it includes thus the commandment given by Luqman when he advised his son. O my son, establish regular prayer, enjoin what is just and forbid what is wrong, and bear with patience constancy whatever betide thee, for there is a firmness of purpose in the conduct of affairs. Luqman 17. Enjoining what is just includes doing a good and advising others to do so, as is forbidding what is wrong. Again, these 3 fields are mentioned in Allah's statement. It is those who are endued with understanding who have received admonition, those who fulfill the covenant of Allah and fail not in their plighted word, those who join together those things which Allah has commanded to be. This is the opinion of Imam Ahmed. Join, hold their Lord in awe and fear the terrible reckoning. Those who patiently persevere, seeking the consonance of their Lord, establish regular prayers, spend out of the gifts we have bestowed for their sustenance, secretly and openly, and turn off evil with good. For such, there is the final attainment of the eternal home.
Danielle. And if anybody want to add something, or they don't understand something, or you want to just feel the need to enlighten all of us, because none of us has any monopoly on understanding this deen. All right, so you can just kick right in if you want. All right, Danielle.
Patience according to the 5 rulings. Patience is divided into wajib, obligatory, mandub, recommended, mandor, and imperative, makruh, reprehensible, and mubah, permissible. Obligatory patience has 3 kinds. Patience in abstaining from what is forbidden, patience in performing what is obligatory, and patience during calamities which are beyond man's control, like illness, poverty, and others. Recommended patience is that is held in abstaining from what is disliked, in performing what is liked, and in abstaining from taking revenge from others. Interdict patience has many kinds. For example, there are holding patience in abstaining from eating and drinking to death, and abstaining from eating dead meat, blood, and pork during famine, when death is inevitable unless man eats them. Taus and Imam Ahmed said, whoever is obliged to eat dead meat or blood, and he does not, and then dies, he will enter hellfire.
Mm. Why is that?
Did I read that right?
Yeah, that's right. Why is that? Why would you think that would be?
Because you're supposed to do everything that to sustain life.
Mm-hmm. SubhanAllah. Yeah. Allah has commanded that you live.
Right.
You know, you can't just not do it. You're thinking that you're gonna be a better Muslim. You know, it's like the person fasting past Maghrib, you know, way into the night. Isha time, he still ain't ate. He think that's gonna make him a better Muslim. It's not. You know, Allah said, break the fast. You know, so in this case, as the sister was pointing out, Allah has instructed us to live. He has said you can eat the pork, right? If your life is dependent on it. So you can't make another decision. You have made another decision. Yeah. SubhanAllah. Okay, continue, sis.
If someone asks, what about holding patience and abstaining from begging? The companions of Imam Ahmed said that this kind of patience is permissible. But what if a man fears that if he does not beg, he will die? It was said that he will not, for Allah will give him his means of livelihood. Many of the companions of Ahmed and Ashafi maintain that he has to beg, and if he does not, he will be obedient, because begging will be his protection from death. Interpretive patience includes calmness and forbearance in whatever causes one's death, like lions, snakes, fire, or an unbeliever who wants to kill him. It also includes patience in the face of fitna, turmoil, and seduction. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was asked about this matter, and he said, "Be like the best of Adam's sons." In addition, he said in another tradition, "Be like the servant of Allah who is killed, and do not be like the servant of Allah who kills." And according to another narration, "Let him carry his sin and your sin." And another narration reads, "If the brightness of the sword dazzles you, put your hands over your face." Allah the Most High narrated the surrender of the best of Adam's sons and how Allah praised him. On the other hand, the Muslim must kill the unbeliever because he has to defend himself. And the main reason for jihad is to defend oneself and Muslims. Reprehensible patience has many forms, such as patience in abstaining from food, drink, clothes, and sex with one's wife on condition that she agrees on it, and that this does not cause harm to him. Also, there are patience in abstaining from what is harmful, and patience in doing what is liked or in doing good deeds. Permissible patience is to hold patience in abstaining from deeds which one can either choose to do it or not.
The difference between the degrees of patience. As it has been mentioned before, patience is of two kinds, voluntary and compulsory. Voluntary patience is more perfect than the compulsory ones. All people perform acts which include compulsory patience, and it is handled by those who do not deal with voluntary patience. This was why the patience of the truthful Joseph, in abstaining from being seduced by his wife of Al-Aziz, as well as his patience in prison, and the harm he faced was greater than the patience in what had happened to him when his brother threw him into the well and thereby separated him from his father. As for his compulsory patience, it was in handling the power which Allah, the Most High, gave him in the kingdom of Al-Aziz. There was also the patience of Allah's intimate friend, Ibrahim, Kalimullah.
Kalimullah, the friend of Allah.
Moses, Noah, Isa, and the patience of the last prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in making the call of Islam and fighting against the enemies of Allah. For his patience, Allah called them the messenger of firm resolution. And he ordered his messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be patient like them. He said, therefore, patiently persevere as did all messengers of firm resolution. The people of patience are those who are mentioned in his saying. The same vision has he established for you as that which he enjoined on Noah and that which we sent by his inspiration to thee and that which were enjoined on Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Moreover, Allah the Most High says, and remember, we took from the prophets their covenant, and from thee, from Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Ibn Abbas and other early Muslims held this. In addition, Allah the Most High ordered him not to be like the companion of the fish, Jonah, who was not patient like the messenger of firm resolution in saying, so wait with patience for the command of thy Lord, and be not like the companion of the fish when he cried out in agony. Then Allah praised him and told him that he had saved him because of his calling. He said, and remember, though noon, when he departed in wrath, he imagined that we had no power over him, but he cried through the depths of darkness. There is no God but thou. Glory be to thee. I was indeed wrong. At-Tirmidhi narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, the invocation of my brother Jonah, which he said while he was in the stomach of the whale, whoever is afflicted and says it, Allah will relieve his affliction. There is no God but you. Glory be you. I was indeed one of the oppressors. Therefore, no one is forbidden to say the same invocation, as it was the invocation with which Jonah invoked his Lord. Nevertheless, Muslims are forbidden to do the same thing, which led to his ordeal and made him call Allah to get him out of the stomach of the whale. Some people of knowledge said that Allah forbids his prophets to this verse to do the thing that caused Jonah's trouble, which was weakness of determination and patience regards Allah's judgment. Furthermore, Allah does not say here that the Prophet ﷺ should not be like the companion of the whale who made a mistake, was then swallowed by the whale, and finally called out to Allah. Yet he summarized the story of concentrated on its end and objective. Allah the Most High praises Yunus and other prophets by allowing them to ask him to relieve their afflictions. By Allah's praise, Yunus by saying, and remember, there's none. When he departed in the wrath, he imagined that we had no power over him, but he cried through the depths of darkness. There is no God but thou. Glory be to thee. I was indeed wrong. Also, Allah also praises Ayyub by saying, and remember Job, when he cried to his Lord, truly distress has seized me, but thou art the most merciful for those that are merciful. He is also praises Yaqub by saying, I only complain of my distraction and anguish to Allah. And he praises Musa by saying, O my Lord, truly I am in desperate need of any good that thou dost send me. The Prophet ﷺ also complained to Allah by saying, O Allah, I complain to you of my weakness and helplessness. Complaining to Allah does not contradict patience. Allah the Most High listens to his servants' complaints. Allah also blames he who does not return to him when he is afflicted. Allah, the Most High, says, we inflicted punishment on them, but they humbled not themselves to the Lord, nor do they submissively entreat him. The servant is weak, and Allah, the Most High, wants him to be patient and to seek him and to seek help from him. Allah hates those who complain about him to others, and he loves those who complain only to him. Someone asked a scholar, how can he complain to the one who knows everything? The answer was that Allah is satisfied when the servant returns to him while he is in ease of humility. What is meant by this is that Allah, the Most High, ordered his messengers to be patient, like the messenger from firm resolution, who were patient in his judgment. This is the perfect patience. On the day of judgment, they will commit intercession to the best of them. Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with all of them. If someone asks, what is the perfect type of patience? Patience is what is ordered. Patience is abstaining from what is forbidden. Or patience in what is destined. The answer would be that of patience, which is related to orders and prohibition, is better than patience. What is destined? The believer and unbeliever can be patient. Everybody has to be patient in what is destined, whether they like it or not. On the other hand, patience is what is ordered, and what is forbidden is the patience of the followers of the Prophet. The best of them is most patient. If someone asks which patience is better to Allah, patience is what is ordered by Allah, but patience is abstaining from what is forbidden. The answer would be that this subject has many points of view. A group of scholars said that patience is abstaining from what is forbidden is better because it is more difficult. Good deeds can be performed by both the believer and the unbeliever, and no one can be patient and abstain from what is forbidden except the truthful. It is also said that when a person leaves what he loves, this is evidence that the reason behind his action is dearer to him than his soul. Others said that courage and magnanimity are related to this type of patience. Imam Ahmad said, magnanimity is to leave what you like for what you fear. Thus, the courage and magnanimity of the servant of Allah is according to his patience, to this patience. Another opinion held that there is no wonder if a man is patient in what is ordered. Most of these orders are dear to the righteous soul in accordance with its justice, benevolence, sincerity, and piety. But it is a wonder when someone is patient and abstain from what is forbidden, which often includes things that are dearest to the soul. This is when a person leaves the good things in life for the good things of the hereafter. What is forbidden calls for four things: the soul of the human being, his devil, his affliction, and his life. He does not leave them without striving, and this is the most difficult thing for the soul. Abstaining from what is forbidden is considered a protection of the soul from its desires and carnal pleasures. The Prophet ﷺ said, if I order you by an order, you have to do it as best as you can, and what I prohibit you from, likewise, you have to avoid it. Another group of scholars said that patience in what is ordered is better than patience in abstaining from what is forbidden, because to perform what is ordered is dear to Allah. This point, however, has different aspects of clarification. First, to perform what is ordered, a legislated action. Allah created the whole creation to worship Him, believe that is in the One, and trust in Him, and to be satisfied with Him. Allah forbids what is forbidden because it prevents His servants from performing what He has ordered. For example, Allah the Most High forbids wine and gambling because He knows that they will prevent His servants from remembering Him and from prayer. Second, the orders are related to Allah, His worship, remembrance, love, and trust. Third, the need of the servant to perform what is ordered is greater than his need to avoid what is forbidden. There is nothing greater than to know Allah and to be sincere to Him. to believe in his oneness, and to love and obey him. This need is dearer to man than his soul, and his soul is dearer to him than food, which builds his body. However, to be obedient to Allah is better for both his heart and soul. Fourth, all sins are related to two things: to avoid what is ordered and to perform what is forbidden. If a person performs all things that are forbidden until he does a small thing related to what is ordered, he would be saved from the eternal hellfire. Likewise, if he avoids what is forbidden and neglects to perform any order of belief, he will be of the dwellers of the fire. Fifth, when a person performs what is forbidden, it can be forgiven by repentance. Sixth, the sin of Adam and the sins of Adam was his performance of what was forbidden, and then Allah accepted his repentance and forgave him. The sin of Satan is that he disobeyed what was ordered. Allah punished him and mentioned in the Quran and has made it a warning to the day of judgment. Seven, Allah loves what is ordered and detests what is forbidden. The expectation of the servant is to repent, ask for pardon, and to be submissive, and the degree of Allah is to forgive him. Allah destined that what seems harmful is the way to what he loves. Allah, the Most High, created the whole creation to perform what he loves, that he alone is to be worshipped. Allah, the Most High, says, I have only created jinn and men that they may serve me. 8. When the servant avoids what is forbidden, Allah will not reward him until he compares it with what he has performed from the orders of belief. Also, the believer will not be rewarded for avoiding what is forbidden until it is compared with his intention. 9. The reward of what is ordered is equaled by 10 grades, and this may be increased according to Allah's will. On the other hand, what is forbidden is considered only one sin, and it can be forgiven by repentance. 10. Allah forgives the sins of the servant during his life in 6 ways. By repentance, the invocation of the believers, the angels asking for pardoning him, expiation of sins, asking for forgiveness, or by accepted deeds. There are two other ways during his death, which are death itself and its affliction. It can be by terror and by alarm of 2 angels in the grave, by intercession, or by Allah's mercy, and he is the most merciful. If all these things are of no use, he must enter hellfire and stay there according to his sins. 11. The reward of orders is recompense, and it is related to mercy, benevolence, and favor. The punishment of what is forbidden is related to anger and justice. The mercy of the Most High comes before his anger. So what is related to mercy and favor is dearer to Allah than what is related to angels and justice. To neglect what is related to mercy and detestable to Allah, then to do what is related to anger. 12. To perform what is ordered is the basic part of the order. It is considered perfection. If the servant performs the order, he will be perfect. For example, to avoid bowing to idols is not perfection, but perfection is to bow to Allah. Another example, if a person stops telling lies about the messenger, he is not considered a believer until he believes in him and loves and obeys him. 13. Allah orders his servants to perform some things and avoid others. If he performs both of them, then what Allah likes and hates is performed. But the good things which he has done could expiate the bad ones. For example, a king may order his servant to kill his enemy, and he does, and he may order him not to drink wine, but he does. The first action could expiate the second. God created all creatures like this. This can be noticed in the treatment between leaders and servants, parents and children, kings and soldiers, and between wives and husbands. 14. The one who performs what Allah loves cannot perform all forbidden things. But if he avoids what is ordered, then he does not perform what Allah likes him to do, because to avoid forbidden things is not considered obedience without performing the orders. 15, Allah loves the repentant, the benevolent, the thankful, the patient, the pure people, the people who strive for his sake, the people who fear him, and the people who give charity. Allah is the Most High, says, I have only created jinn and men that they may serve me. Allah created the whole creation for only one reason, which is to follow his rules. 16, Allah forbade things because he knows that they will delay and contradict his orders. Finally, it may now be clear that performing orders is better, and the patience contained in it is the best kind of patience. By this, patience will be easy in abstaining from what is forbidden and what is destined.
Looks like Danielle, you're gonna be closing us out. Good.
The good deeds, the good and the bad patience. Bad patience is to be patient in abstaining from Allah, his love, and his mercy, because this prevents man from being perfect and doing what he was created for. This is the worst and the most difficult type of patience. There is no religious devotion greater than holding
Asceticism.
Concerning what Allah has prepared for his followers, which no eye has ever seen or ear has ever heard. Once a man said to an ascetic, I have never seen an ascetic like you. He said, your asceticism is stronger than mine, because my asceticism is connected to this life, which is short, and yours is connected to the hereafter. So which of us is better? A man asked Shibli, which type of patience is more difficult for the patient? He said, patience for the sake of Allah. The man said, no. Then Shibli said, patience for Allah. The man said, no. Shibli said, patience with Allah. He said, no. Then Shibli said, then what is it? The man said, patience in abstaining from Allah. Then Shibli screamed as if he nearly died. It was said that patience with Allah is fulfillment, and patience in abstaining from Allah is harshness. All people agree that patience in avoiding Allah is not praiseworthy. Good patience is of two types, patience for Allah and patience with the help from Allah. Allah the Most High says, and do thou be patient, for thy patience is but with the help of Allah, the help from Allah. He also says, now await in patience the command of thy Lord, for verily thou art in our eyes. There was a dispute between people about which of the two types is more perfect. A group of them said, patience for Allah is more perfect, because what is done for Allah is perfect more than what is done by Allah. What is done for Allah is an objective, and what is done by him is a means. So what is related to Allah is related to his divine divinity, is related to his divinity. For this reason, to believe in his divinity saves any person from polytheism. People of idolatry believe that Allah is the creator and the owner of this world, but they did not believe in his divinity, so their belief was useless for them. Another opinion was that patience with the help from Allah is more perfect. To be patient for the sake of Allah depends on being patient with the help from Allah. Allah the Most High says, and do thou be patient. Thus he orders his servant to be patient. Then he says, for thy patience is but with the help from Allah. This refers to the fact that he could not be patient without the help from Allah. Moreover, he read in a Qudsi hadith, by me he hears, by me he sees, by me he strikes, and by me he walks. The hadith refers to the believer who performs
Supererogatory.
prayer till Allah loves him. As a result of that, Allah will be with him in whatever he does. Whoever is not patient with the help from Allah is like one who does not wish to be nearer to Allah. This is what is meant by, I am hearing with which he hears, and his sight with which he sees, and his hand with which he strikes, and his legs with which he walks. This does not mean the physical organs, as was said by the enemies of Allah, but this saying is interpreted by the hadith, by me he hears, by me he sees, by me he strikes, and by me he walks. In another Qudsi hadith, Allah said, I am an associate to whoever mentions me. Allah said, I am with my servant whenever he mentions me and moves his lips for me. In another hadith, if I love my servant, I will be his hearing, sight, hand, and supporter.
Hold on for a minute. Everybody know what supererogatory is, right? Yeah. Those are the Sunnah prayers, okay? All right. Okay, just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Go ahead.
In this connection, there is a point that must be taken into consideration, that whoever loves an attribute of Allah, it will be a link between him and Allah. Allah is the most patient, and there is no one who is more patient than him. It was related that Allah inspired David, and said, have my attributes. One of my attributes is that I am the most patient. Allah loves his attributes and names, and he loves to see the effect of them on his servants. He is the most beautiful, and he likes beauty. He is the all-forgiving, and he likes forgiveness. He is the most generous, and he likes generosity. He is the all-knowing, and he likes people of knowledge. He is the most strong, and he loves the strong believer more than the weak one. He is the most patient, and he loves the patience from among his worshipers. He is the all-thankful, and he loves those who are thankful. Another group added another type of patience, namely patience with Allah, which means loyalty. Others said the patience with Allah is the patience in what Allah has destined, ordered, and forbidden. Other people added patience in what is related to Allah, and it is like patience for Allah. Allah the Most High says, and those who strive in our cause, we will certainly guide them to our paths. He also said, and strive in his cause. It was related by Jabir, said, when Allah resurrected my father, he said, say your wish. He said, oh my Lord, I wish that you return me back to life to be killed again for your sake. From this we realize two things. The first one is the importance of being patient for Allah and for his obedience. And man does this with his own choice. The second thing is that whatever happens to man is from Allah's will and not from the hand of any person. Some people say, patience will help. Patience with the help from Allah brings immortality. This means that if the servant of Allah is patient with the help from Allah, everything will become easy. They're saying patience with Allah is fulfillment, means that patience with him is perseverance in his orders. Allah the Most High says, enable him who fulfilled his commandments. As for their saying, patience in abstaining from Allah is harshness. It means that there is no harshness greater than this. There is no light, peace, or comfort without Allah's love and nearness. Moreover, what was said by Yaqub, as the Quran states, refers to this. He said, for me, patience is most fitting. Then his longing for his son, Yusuf, made him say, how great is my grief for Joseph. This does not contradict the first saying, but it means that he did not complain to others. Yaqub said also, as the Quran states, I only complain of my distraction and anguish to Allah. In this connection, we remain that Allah, the Most High, ordered his messenger, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, to hold the most fitting patience. And he obeyed him and said, "O Allah, I complain to you of my weakness and helplessness." Some scholars added another type of patience and called it holding patience in the face of patience. They said it means that man holds patience so deeply to the extent that he becomes unable to be patient. Actually, this is involved in the other types of patience, and it denotes perseverance in holding patience. After all, Allah knows best.
Anything to add? We got 2 minutes, I think. 4 minutes, inshallah. This book is pretty thorough, isn't it? Yeah, we shouldn't be able to walk away and not understand patience. All yeah, it is. So, yeah. All right, let's close out. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سورة العصر والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. All right, see you in 2, inshallah.